I would have even remotely imagined that day we hit the game-winning field goal in 8th grade. I grew up loving baseball and played for ECS from 6th through 8th grade. So when it came time for me to try out for the high school team my freshman year, I was so excited to give it my best shot. Tryouts were a few days long, and I felt I was doing okay. Well, I definitely wasn't the best, but I was, giving it my best shot. Felt I was doing okay, hanging in there. After tryouts concluded, Coach Hines pulled me aside, put his arm around me, and very fatherly said, "Morgan, I think it's time we focus on football." So with his help, I decided that football would be my future. It's people like Coach Hines that God uses to test and grow us. I wasn't happy that baseball wasn't in my future, but in the end, I can see how God used that moment to send me in the direction that He wanted for me. Life is full of ups and downs, celebrations and disappointments. I've had the opportunity to be there for my teammates during times of crisis, to join in their successes, and to support them during difficult days. In today's culture, it's often we get distracted from what's important. I too am guilty of getting wrapped up in the fleeting joys of the NFL. Thankfully, I have people in my life to remind me of the foundations that ECS taught us. Next month, I will have one of the most difficult tasks that any man will face. After almost 6 years of marriage, Lauren and I will be welcoming our firstborn son. I know that being a dad won't be that easy, that there will be days where I'm going to feel like I did walking off the field with Coach Durham. But we need days like those to remind us the grace that we've been shown. I want my son to know that there is strength in weakness. I pray that he's always reminded that God's plan for him is greater than anything he can accomplish on his own. Really appreciate you guys letting me share with you. And Sam told me that I had time to open it up for questions. So appreciate you guys letting me share. Anybody?
Morgan,
Yep.
when you get to the NFL, what got you in that position to be the snapper?
Well, I knew in the Senior Bowl that, like I said, I would have all 32 teams collected in one place, and that all the special teams coaches come to that game. And so for me going into that week, I really knew that, I was going to snap basically until my arms fell off, because that was going to be really my only shot to really have everybody looking at me. And so even, I remember on the sidelines, I'm sure that the guy that was catching for me got annoyed, but I wanted to give him, full view of what I could do. And so I got to talk to a couple coaches there, and I got to Baltimore, and really from there I just took the attitude, I'm going to take it one step at a time. So I got into camp and I just said, okay, I want to make it to OTAs and I want to snap well. I'm not trying to necessarily beat this other guy. I just want to do well enough to get to the next day. And so made it to mini camp, and they kept me for training camp. And I got a couple days into training camp, and they had cut the other guy, but I didn't know it in the morning meeting, because special teams is the first meeting. So I'm looking around looking for Matt Catula was the guy that I was competing against, and I didn't see him. And I was like, oh wow, Matt's late to the meeting, I guess. And so then as the meeting goes on, he never showed up, and it's kind of starting to hit me a little bit that wow, I might have done this. And we get into we break out in our meetings, and Coach Rosberg, my special teams coach, came in and told me, guys, we've cut Matt Catula, and congrats to Morgan and stuff. And then I had to sit through another 30-minute meeting, like with the real news that I was going to be the snapper that season. And as soon as we got out, I called Lauren, my mom and dad, and I mean, I'm not afraid to admit I was just bawling my eyes out. But, I mean, it's a process, and like I said, everybody's a little bit different. I know guys that take 4 years after college before they get their real shot in the NFL, so it's a lot of grinding, so. Yeah.
How many snaps did your dad take?
Well, there's no time. Front yard, there's